Good afternoon, folks.
Good afternoon.
Folks. All right. Good afternoon. Coming in. Come on in. All right. Good to see everyone. I'm a little tired, but I'm here giving me some energy. You see, my name is Nate Odell. Come on in. Have a seat, folks. I'm going to tell you a story. All right? Now, I've been around here for a minute. Nate Odell said my parents were born slaves. All right? I lived back in the 1800s. However, I've been traveling from century to century, just educating folks on what went on back then. So can you indulge me for a little bit? All right? My friend Mama Lean, she's going to come out in a minute. You ever heard the term, you better mind? Mind your business, you better mind what's going on and so on. All right, that's going to be your first mode of participation. See, where we come from, we're from the Hills community upstate. And Mama Lee going to talk to you a little bit about that. But we were here a few weeks ago talking about President Lincoln during the time when he visited here and the Peekskill and the Civil War, also looking at the Union and Confederates. And we're going to give you a point of view from a colored perspective, if you understand what I'm saying. We were all in the middle of this thing, and sometimes we left out of the history books, right? Well, my father, he was born a slave, worked on a farm up in Tarrytown, Phillipsburg Manor. Some of y'all might know that place. And he met my mother down, he used to take the boat down river, right down here, and do some trade downtown at the 5 Points. And met my mother Abigail, and there I was born free down at the 5 Points. And when I met my wife, I moved up to the Hills community. But I'm gonna let Mama Lean come on in here and we get started. We're not a spectator people, we're participator people, right? So if you hear something you like, you just join in. Your first line is, you better mind. You know when to come in, all right?
You better mind how you talk. You better mind what you're talking about. You gotta give an account at the judgment. You better mind. You better mind how you sing. You better mind what you're singing about. You gotta give an account at the judgment. You better mind. Say, you better mind. You better mind. You gotta give an account at the judgment. You better mind. Say, you better mind. You better mind. You gotta give an account at the judgment. You better mind. So now you know the song. Going round here from door to door, talking about things that you really don't know. You gotta give an account at the judgment. You better mind. You're going round here from place to place. The way you're living is a really disgrace. You gotta give an account at the judgment. You better mind again. You better mind. You better mind. Give an account at the judgment. You better mind. Say, you better mind. You better mind. You gotta give an account at the judgment. You better mind. You gotta give an account at the judgment. You better mind. All right now. You got to give an account at the judgment. You better mind. Welcome everybody. How y'all doing? My name is Mama Lean. My born name is Lucretia Elizabeth Selena Purdy, but you can call me Mama Lean. I was born up in the Hills community. It's a free black community in New York, not too far from here. Right there, about 2 miles from White Plains, up there in North Castle, North Ashland. Y'all know where Silver Lake is? Somewhere where they're right close to there is the Hills community. And how I got there, well, my family was freed from the Quakers, who decided they didn't want to have no more to do with slavery, and they settled my family there with a little piece of land, and some other Quakers did too, and also some Methodists. And so we formed a nice little community called the Hills. Freedom came to everybody in New York in 1827, so family joined us and some friends. We had a nice community. It was rocky country, a little rugged. But we made our way. We did a little farming, and we farmed out to people who had a little better land. But, you know, there was people that were skilled, like that Simeon Tiercy. You may have heard of him. You know why? Because he built the platform that Mr. Lincoln stood on when he came to Peekskill in 1861. You can see that platform right over here. He built it, Simeon Tiercy. Right. And he was also the church secretary, Simeon Tiercy. And when they established the United States Colored Troop in 1863, well, Mr. Tiercy was one of the first men to join up from the Hills.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's right. Simeon, he right, one of the first to go into combat with the colored troops.
Well,
he was part of that regiment. He joined the 14th Regiment of Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's right.
And about 13 other men from the Hills community actually joined that regiment. And then the 29th Connecticut Regiment, about 16 of the Hills men would join that one too.
Yeah,
Well, it's about, you talk about 52 able-bodied men in the Hills community, and 36 of them joined the colored troops. Now that's something. I tried to join myself twice, but I can't see too good. So I failed the test twice. I tried to fake it the second time.
That's all right. Yeah.
You know, it didn't work out. But we fight the way we can fight.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, you think about fighting in the colored troops. It was the only way to really legitimize your manhood.
Yeah.
When we were men, we wanted to fight.
Oh, you heard about that 54th? You know, the 54th, that was out of Massachusetts, I believe. The Butler brothers, see them right there. And then
playing the horns right there.
They wasn't from the Hills, but they came from Peekskill.
Yeah.
And then the Simeon Gilchrist holding that Peekskill volunteer flag over there. Yeah, he also joined the 54th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I was over there in that room back over there, because this Mr. Grooms, Mr. Red Grooms, he made this beautiful exhibit. And I was in that room back there where he got some more paintings. How many of y'all been in that room back there? All right, so you've seen his paintings, and he had a few paintings of the lady spies. You notice them paintings? He had two lady spies in particular. One was Paula Cushman. She was an actress, and she was a Union spy. I believe she got caught with something in her shoe, but she smiled at somebody nice, and they let her go.
Yeah.
And then there was
had to be an actress to be a spy.
and then there was Miss Boyd. I can't never remember her first name. She was a Confederate spy, so I don't really care, but she was a spy too, Miss Boyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know much about them.
Oh no, you hadn't heard about them.
Mary Bowser, now that's somebody y'all need to know.
Yeah,
you heard about Mary Bowser?
I think I heard about Mary Bowser.
Now this is the spy of spies. This woman, she was born a slave, however, she worked in the house of the president of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis.
Oh,
she worked right in the home.
Oh,
she worked as a slave, but she was a free woman.
Oh, she was free?
Mary Bowser.
Oh, Mary Bowser. So you know her, is she kin to you?
No, she's not kin to me, but she kin to the Tiersons.
Oh, yeah.
Not Simeon, but his wife, Sarah.
His wife, Sarah.
Yeah, she was a Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Sarah Johnson.
Her maiden name was
right.
Johnson.
That's
she
right.
worked on the same plantation with the Van Loos.
Oh.
You know, that's where Mary from. She worked with the Van Loos. And then Mary actually, she was Van Loo, then she married William Bowser.
Oh, wow.
That's how she got that name.
Yeah.
And then Sally Mae, she married William's brother, James.
James Bowser.
Right, James Bowser. He a free man, she was slave. And you know, well, there's a whole lot of intermarrying between slave and free back in those days. But that didn't matter to nobody because we had to make family where we could make families.
Exactly
breaking up families, so we create our own family.
So now, particulars of Mary Bowser, you know the particulars about her?
Well, I know some. I know you expect you know some too.
Yeah, I know a little something.
Mary was born a slave with the Van Loo family. They made their money on hardware. They had a big estate down there in Richmond, Virginia. Big plantation. Yeah. And so they had a whole bunch of, you know, she got married later on. But Mary, she worked as a spy, as I mentioned, with Jefferson Davis. Yeah. But she was very smart.
She was a smart girl.
Yeah, but however, when Mr. Van Loo died, his daughter Elizabeth freed all the slaves.
All right now.
Freed all the slaves, and Miss Van Loo took a liking to Mary because she was very smart. Yeah. So she sent her to the Quaker school in Philadelphia. And from there, after she finished that school, she went over to Africa as a missionary.
All right, all the way over there.
And when she came back as a free woman, she married that William Bowser.
Oh, that's when she married William Bowser.
Now here, Miss Van Loo, they call her Crazy Betty.
Crazy Betty.
Because she seemed like she wasn't too right in the head.
Yeah.
Well, she was smart.
As a fuck.
Else do you know it? Well, she ran an elaborate spying network.
All right.
For the Union.
For the Union, yeah.
That's right. She had a whole lot of Confederate friends, but they didn't know what she was actually doing undercover.
Yeah, because she was crazy.
Oh, yeah. So they thought.
Yeah.
You know, but she had all those connections.
Oh.
So she hired out Mary Bowser as a slave, although she free. Under the name. Who
hired her out?
What was
Van
Loo, Crazy Betty. Right? She to help out with the functions with the president of the Confederacy.
What was his Jefferson?
Jefferson Davis.
Jefferson Davis.
Now,
so she was working in Jefferson Davis' house.
In the house, under the supervision of his wife, Verena.
Verena. What kind of name is that?
I don't know. I never heard no white folk named Verena.
No, was she black?
No. Confederate?
That would be funny, right?
That would be something. That's a real spying for you,
Verena.
Verena was her supervisor. Yeah, and so she was hired as Ellen Bond.
Ellen Bond?
Yeah, that's the name she went under as this dim-witted servant.
I think I heard of some guy y'all got in the movies now. Ain't his name James Bond? Yeah, that's probably where he got it.
Yeah, there was some books and movies about this thing, but that wasn't real. Now Ellen Bowser, aka Ellen Bond, was the real deal. Mary Bowser. Yeah. She was going under Ellen Bond.
Okay.
Now she would play like she just simple and not too smart, but do good service.
Oh, do good work.
Now that's some acting for you. Right? She do real good service. So eventually, Jefferson Davis hired him full time.
Full time. Well, hired?
Well, hired through Van Loo. Right? They paying Van Loo, but Van Loo, Crazy Betty. She paying, aka Ellen Bond.
On the side.
On the side. That's right. So she was She's playing the slave role. But anyway, she working in there. She's serving tea and crumpets and carrying on, listening to everything that Jefferson Davis and them generals were doing. All right, now she very smart, had a photographic memory. So she just taking in information, don't miss a word. She also work in his office, cleaning up and tidying up, looking at all them vital documents and all of that, taking it in. Now here's how she was doing her spying. Now those Davises they like baked goods, cakes and cupcakes and all of that. So there was a baker in town named Thomas McNiven. He's the big baker in Richmond. Yeah. And he would come by and drop off all those pieces. She'd go and talk to him, and she'd give him all of the accounts. Little did they know Thomas was working for Crazy Betty too.
Okay.
Right. So she she give them everything she see and hear. She passing it on. All the Confederates, what they doing in battles and all of that. And so Mr. McNiven, you know, passed that on. So that's how Miss Ellen Bond, a.k.a. Mary Bowser, right, was making that happen. Yeah. Now, how I know all of this?
How you know?
Well, Thomas McNiven, he died in 1904. Oh, 1904. Right before he died, he told his daughter, Jeanette, all about what went on, and she recorded all of it. She wrote it down. So all of that's documented, and that's how that goes. Now you talking about a spy?
Yeah, well that's some kind of spy. Well now the next part, I know it's not documented, but I know and I can't tell you how I know.
All right.
And that's
the grapevine, that's how that goes.
So Mary Bowser, she was spying and the war was coming to an end. It was almost the end of 1865 and Jefferson Davis, well, he knew somebody was telling, but he couldn't figure out who it was. And he was close questioning everybody, including Mary. He called her one time too many, and next thing you know, she saw that Gap Gang, they was the dreaded paddle rollers. She saw them coming to the door, well, she knew her time was up. So she decided to run. She got on the road. Some say she tried to burn down the Confederate house, but I don't know if that was true.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, Mary, she was, So she ran a few nights, you know, took cover during the day, a few nights, and she was, you know, getting lonely and tired and hungry. And she was in the woods at night and she heard chilly water. Oh, chilly sometimes the slaves, they would run off from the plantation. They wouldn't run off. They would go into the woods at night so they could have religious meetings free of supervision, overseer, plantation owner. So when she heard that song, she joined in and she found them people and they was having their religious service and they welcomed her, gave her a little something to eat, gave her some company, talked to her. Well, she was a little turned around and they didn't exactly tell her which way to go. But they did tell her, you know, you could go right over there and this little cutout, you can get out of the weather and you can sleep for the night. So she was grateful for that. And she went over there and she laid down and, you know, and then in the morning she woke up. Here's a black man standing over with a gun. He's a maroon. Yeah. Well, you know, them maroons, them was former slaves who had freed themselves by running away from the plantation into the swamp nearby, formed whole communities, had farmland and stuff in that swamp, cleared it out, made a life in that swamp, but they stayed close enough so that they could visit their kin, and also they raided the plantations. They're maroons.
Oh, maroons. They're known all over the Caribbean and throughout the South. You know, they knew how to get there. Well, they told Mary, that man there told Mary where she had to go.
Where she had to go?
And she just took on off.
She took off.
He had to go on over to Delaware. You see, there's maroon. You know, they live in the swamps and the grass, and they don't make a whole lot of noise because they just know how to make it. They work with the abolitionists, the Underground Railroad. They live in those woods. Anyway, he said, you know, he told in some sign language and also to take a little stick and draw out maps on the ground. And once Mary Bowser, right? Mary Bowser, once she saw that map, she committed to her memory. And once she gave him the nod, he got the nod, she wipe out all that stuff. She don't leave no evidence, don't write nothing. And she took off. So she made her way over to Delaware, Wilmington, Delaware, saw all those people. He told her to look out for a woman named Davy. Now Davy was a strawberry. She sold strawberries. He said, listen out for a woman named Davy selling strawberries. And so she got in that town, and so all of a sudden she heard
strawberry.
And she knew she had run into Davy.
I come from 4 miles out of town. I'm going to glory. My strawberries are sweet and sound. I'm going to glory. I fetched them 4 miles on my head. I'm going to glory. My child is sick, my husband's dead. I'm going to glory. Eat them with your bread and meat. I'm going to glory. My strawberries are good and sweet. I'm going to glory. Come sit or get down on your knees. I'm going to glory and eat my strawberries if you please. I'm going to glory. I'm going to glory. I'm going to glory. So, Mary Bowser met this Davy, and she and Davy got to chatting, and they got a little acquainted with each other, so to speak. And so finally, Davy told Mary Bowser she would cross her from Wilmington, Delaware to Philadelphia, which was about 12 miles, but Delaware was slave and Philadelphia was free. And Davy had a route that she went 2 or 3 times a week, and she would cross her there. And Mary Bowser said, well, thank you very much, but please, I got a big bounty on my head. Do you mind if I go somewhere a little less conspicuous, like York, Pennsylvania? Which is, she had some friends from that Quaker school there in Philadelphia. So they palavered a while, and then finally Davy said, okay, she could hook her up with the AME preacher who was having a revival in that part of Pennsylvania, and he would move her along until she got to York, and that's what he did do.
AME. Ooh, that make me proud of my church.
Yeah, the ME.
Yeah, that's right. The Hills Methodist Episcopalian Zion Church of Colored People. We all in the middle of things.
Yeah, all up in the middle of it. And so Mary Bowser, she got there to York, and well, she was able to be safe for a while, but she was a very active person. So next thing you know, you hear she's on the abolition circuit, speaking, of course, not as her own name, but as Ramonia Richards or Ann Dickinson, and
she has several names.
Several names, that's right. And it wasn't too long, I think it was only 2 more years, you heard her as Mary Richards. She had a school for coloreds down there in Georgia
she started
somewhere.
a school in Georgia.
Yeah,
What year was that?
It's 1867.
I tell you, Mama Lean, it's something folks don't know. We were all in the middle of everything.
Yes, we was.
Fighting for our freedom.
Fighting for our freedom. Eat them with your bread and meat. I'm going to glory. My strawberries are good and sweet. I'm going to glory. Come sinner, get down on your knees. I'm going to glory and eat my strawberries if you please. I'm going to glory. I'm going to glory. I'm going to glory. Strawberry.
All right.
Thank you.
Deanna Carroll.
Keith Johnston. All right.
The only thing that was fiction was those names we gave ourselves.
Yeah.
These are our real names. Everything else is documented and completely non-fiction.
And especially there's this Hills community. I was very privileged to find out about it, and all the history of the men who joined and the women whom they left and so forth. And we've been able to craft stories around that in conjunction with Mr. Grooms and his exhibit about the Civil War. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to entertain them or comments or anything. Yes, ma'am.
What was that word you used in that last song? Coming to the glory.
I'm going to glory.
Oh, I'm going to
Going
glory.
to glory.
Glory. Glory. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly where is the hill area?
Exactly. Now, see, there's a
According to
question.
Westchester.
It's right up there in that corner. Now, I haven't been there yet, but it's right by White Plains and North Castle and North Harrison. It's kind of right in there somewhere. It's extinct now, of course, because I think it lasted from the 1700s till about 1925. And Silver Lake is not too far from Silver Lake. And the lady who wrote this book, Ms. Edith Ann Quinn, she said there's a path, and you can go and you can see foundation. You can feel the spirit of the people there. And Keith was talking to somebody yesterday.
Yeah, I was talking to a professor over at Brown in Africana Studies, good friend of mine, talking about this show. He says, oh yeah, I know that area. He said that's an area where they had all those stones, the stone wall where you'd go right past and not know people were living in there. They had their own little fortress and they did everything themselves during that time. You know, so yeah.
Pardon. Were the Quakers in Philadelphia, were they had any connection with the Quakers in New Jersey? The reason I say that, I was born in a small town in New Jersey, was started by the Quakers, Haddonfield, New Jersey. Everything was Quaker. Of course it was segregated, but everything was Quaker, and I was just wondering, did they have any, if you know, if they had any connection.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I know they share a lot of the same rituals. And
Yeah, this was a small town.
Yeah.
It was made by the Quakers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I originally come from York, Pennsylvania. It was very alternative religion, Quakers and Amish and Mennonite. Yeah, in Lancaster County, that whole southern Pennsylvania, Jersey, Maryland area there. Seen a lot of, yeah.
Back in the small Quaker town today, it has no bars and no liquor stores.
Have mercy. That's a nice place to raise your kids.
Yes,
Right.
that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's changed a lot in Pennsylvania, Dutch country and all that. I've been there not too long ago, and it's not what it was when I was growing up.
Nah, nothing
It's even
is
more
right.
commercial now.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
With all the danger that she faced, was Mary ever captured or punished?
No, there's no record that she was. She managed to elude them till the end. And if she didn't, there's no record. There's some talk that she had written a book and then it inadvertently got thrown out in the 50s or something. But I don't know. But there's no record of her capture. Isn't that lovely? Yeah. Yeah.
So most of the records came from the baker?
Most of the records.
Of her time with Jefferson Davis.
Right.
Yeah, from the baker, Thomas McNiven.
Yeah, his account.
He passed it on, all that information on to his daughter.
And then the little, I'm sorry, the little quote that I left on your seat, that's actually from Elizabeth Van Loo, who placed Mary Bowser in the Jefferson Davis plantation. Right.
That was the daughter,
Yeah.
right?
Mr. Van Loo.
Freed all the slaves.
Yeah, freed all her people, and then, yeah.
Well, that's it.
Well, thank you very much
Thank
for your
you,
time.
folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.